Hello friends, and welcome to day 8 of the Let's Get Blitzin' cocktail advent calendar. Today, we are trying something new, something different. We're going on a culinary adventure together. Yes, that's right. We are making something very exciting, which I suspect many of you have not tried your hand at before. We are making horchata from scratch. I've actually made mine ahead of time because this does require a little bit of preparation if you are making from scratch. You can also pick up powdered or ready-to-drink refrigerated versions at a number of Latin grocers. Here in Ottawa, I know you can get a powdered version at La Tiendita on Merivale Road. We're mixing our horchata, which I'll tell you more about in a second, with Tequila Tromba Reposado. So this has been aged in American whiskey barrels for 6 months. It has fantastic flavors. You've seen me use this before. I use it all the time. It is like my go-to home bar tequila is Tromba Reposado. It has upfront notes of cacao, toasted nuts, orange, pineapple, and a long-lasting finish where you'll find a certain smoky woodiness sort of develops after you've sipped. It is going to pair beautifully with our horchata, whether you've made it from scratch or you've picked up a store-bought version. It's always about participation, not perfection, my friends. We're building a glass. In addition to these two ingredients, you're going to use your lime clementine cordial. I am serving this cold. Horchata is often served either hot or cold, and there are a number of different varieties of horchata. In case you missed it, again, I am using Tromba Reposado, which means it's been aged, as I mentioned. There are other styles of tequila, which include Blanca, which means unaged, Añejo, which is aged for a longer period of time, and Extra Añejo, which is aged for over 3 years. Horchata has been around since the 11th century. It originated in North Africa and then was exported to what was then known as Valencia, which is now Spain and Portugal, where it has sustained popularity for a millennium. Yes, that's right. They still drink it there. From Europe, it was exported to the Americas, and in every region, you'll find a certain variation on the recipe. So the original version that was created in North Africa involved soaked ground tiger nuts, which was then sweetened. I don't even know what a tiger nut looks like. We are preparing the Mexican version of horchata, which uses white rice as the base and combines that with some lightly toasted blanched almonds, some lime zest, cinnamon, a splash of vanilla, and plenty of sugar for sweetness. So depending on how sweet you'd like your cocktail, you can dial back your lime clementine cordial to 1/4 ounce from the 1/2 ounce that we'll be using today. Or you can add more water to your horchata recipe if you followed the one from the Let's Get Blitzin' Cocktail Advent Calendar ebook or today's blog post. Shall we continue? I think we shall. We're gonna get started by adding 2 ounces of our Tequila Tromba Reposado to our rocks glass. And then we're gonna top that up with 4 ounces of horchata. Let's just move things around here. Get organized. I wanted to challenge us to do something different than eggnog. I know last year I managed to convert several eggnog skeptics into believers with the bruleed pumpkin eggnog from scratch because it just tastes better from scratch. So we're doing 4 ounces in total. That's 2. Another 2. This is going to be tasty. I only discovered horchata myself a couple of years ago. I was very excited about that delicious, sweet almond cinnamon flavor. I have to tell you that a chai tea latte is usually my go-to coffee order. 1/2 ounce, or if you want it less sweet, adapt as you see fit, of our lime clementine cordial. This is giving us some nice heat. All tequila has to be made from blue agave. It is actually a designation of origin product, which means we're gonna give this a good stir, which means that it must be produced in Mexico and is recognized as such in over 40 countries that have trade agreements with Mexico. Specifically, it must be produced in Jalisco or selected municipalities in surrounding states. The flavor of tequila really varies based on where the blue agave was grown. So whether it was in the lowlands, highlands, it totally impacts the flavor that you get from the agave. Also, the style and length of the fermentation process, and then of course the aging, which I outlined moments ago. I'm just gonna add a couple of cubes of ice And a cinnamon stick for garnish for our ho 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 horchata. There we go. Cheers. Let's see how we did. Mmm! Woo! That is tasty. Mmm. Mmm. Yes. There's a lot happening there. The agave really comes through. It's so well complemented by that flavorful lime clementine cordial that has the cracked cardamom, it has the Thai chilies, the fresh ginger. Really plays nicely with the orange and pineapple notes in the Tromba Reposado. As I was saying though, just to go back to telling you a bit more about tequila production, the flavor profile really varies from producer to producer because of the types of blue agave where it was grown, the fermentation process, as I mentioned. But typically you're gonna get a kind of fruity, vegetal note followed by some woody smokiness, a bit of spice, and that's kind of what tequila typically tastes like. But there is a lot of variation from producer to producer. Tromba is actually owned by a fellow Ontarian, and that's part of the reason that I like to keep it stocked on my home bar. So I hope you enjoy this culinary experience and you tried your hand at making your own homemade horchata, or you go and support local and pick some store-bought options up from a local Latin grocer. So cheers. Let's just do another taste for quality assurance. It's really interesting, really complex. I think that anyone that likes that sort of baking spice flavor, that likes cinnamon, is going to really enjoy this. And it's nice that it's plant-based as well. So thank you so much for joining me. You can pick up Tromba Reposado and their other styles of tequila at the LCBO. I'll see you tomorrow for day 9.